Welcome to Brand Lover, honest, real, and lively conversations for flourishing entrepreneurs and budding business owners on a mission to cultivate a heartfelt brand that connects with their purpose-driven mission. My hope is that you walk away feeling inspired and refreshed with a weekly takeaway in your back pocket that you can apply to your life or business. A huge welcome to my beautiful friend Vanya Insull from VJ Cooks. A lot of you may have heard of her incredible brand before, and I'm so excited to, hear her journey and how she started out today. But first of all, welcome, Vanya.
Thanks for having me on the podcast. It's pretty exciting.
Oh, it's absolutely my pleasure. So for those of those of us that don't know you, please tell us a little bit about yourself, about Vanya, but also about VJ Cooks.
Okay, so I went from uni. I was a graphic designer and I designed magazines. So I love the graphic design side of things. And then I moved to a smaller town in New Zealand called Taupo, which is 3 hours from Auckland. And there was no magazine jobs here because I used to design magazines.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just had my second child, Henry, who was 6 months old. And I started just doing little videos of me cooking because I used to design a food magazine in New Zealand called Taste.
Mm-hmm.
So that became kind of a foodie. And then I started recording little videos of what I was cooking. And then I didn't want to put on my personal page. So I just made a page on Facebook called VJ Cooks because VJ is my nickname, Vanya Jean. And then it just snowballed from there. So I'd get a few hundred views on my videos. It'd be so exciting. And then I'd do a few desserts and I got a few thousand views on the videos and lots of likes. And then the Facebook page just went crazy. And then I started the Instagram as a behind the scenes of the Facebook page. And now the Instagram is really popular as well. And then I was like, I better get a website to put all these recipes on. So I think that was one of my successes at the start of Facebook and Instagram, is that I wasn't taking people off the platforms. I was keeping them on there because I just posted the recipes on those platforms. And then I've got a website called vjcooks.com. And I've just published my first cookbook last year and I'm working on my second one. So
great.
So I share on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and TikTok as well.
So you built, basically, to break it down from a strategic point of view, you built a brand before you created anything to sell.
Yes, that's right.
So you built your audience based on just sharing.
Yeah, I didn't get paid for like the first few years. I think I started with sponsored posts and I'd get like a $100 voucher for the supermarket every now and then when I did something. And then my friend told me that she said, I made $400 last month from my website. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then I found out about how you can make ad revenue from having your recipes on a website. So getting all that traffic from social media is, that's one of my revenue streams, is ad revenue on my vjcooks.com recipe website.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to ask you about. What does VJ Cooks look like now from a structural point of view? Like obviously you just started because you loved it and you turned into a foodie because you were working in a food magazine. Crazy. Yeah. So what revenue streams does the business have now?
Yes, so there's probably 4 different revenue streams now. So I started cooking with VJ membership about 2.5 years ago. So that's a monthly ebook. Mm-hmm. So from the recipes in the monthly ebook, we fill gaps on the website. And then after about, they'll go and say the January ebook, and then we kind of get around to putting them on the website in like May or June. So they're exclusive to the membership for a few months. But the idea when we create the content is always to get it onto the website eventually.
Yeah.
So we've got the membership, and then I've got the ad revenue from the website, from all the clicks. So that's why I've got a Facebook manager, and she posts 6 times a day on Facebook, just recipes. And that's where we get probably about 40% of our clicks come from Facebook. The rest is from Google and other places. And then, so I've got the membership, the website, and then I also do sponsored posts with brands. So I work with an agency now in New Zealand. We are Tenzing, and they're my I work through them for all of my sponsored work, apart from work directly with Countdown, which is Woolies in Australia. So I'm a brand ambassador for them, and each month I create content for them as well. And then my other revenue stream is the cookbooks. So I did a cookbook last year, and I'm doing another one this year. So it's not huge revenue from the cookbooks. It's more for like kudos kind of thing, I think.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have something tangible.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's 4 revenue streams, and then I've built a team to help me because I can't do it all.
I just my jaw always drops when I hear you speak, because it's just like how fast you've grown is incredible, or it looks that way. So walk us through, the timing of everything and how it happened. And I'd also love to know if this was intentional. Like, is this what you like? How did you what did you start out thinking this was going to be? And, and how did it all kind of happen from a chronological point of view?
Yeah, well, when I started sharing the videos for the first few months, it's just fun. And then I think when the first one went viral, which was like a wheat bix slice, which is my auntie's recipe, it got like 1 million views on Facebook. That's when I thought, hey, I can make something of this. And I was just trying to post a recipe video every week. And my idea then was to get sponsored work. And I was just hoping to make up what I made doing graphic design, because I didn't do it because I was busy. And then I started the website, and then it was getting things on the website. And then I sold a couple of ebooks, recipe ebooks. So that was like my first digital kind of products, which is scary to put out there.
Yeah.
When people pay you $9 for like a baking ebook. And then I started the membership. And then the cookbook came. I approached the publisher, and they turned me down at first and said, I can't see your point of difference. And I was like, well, I've got this huge audience begging me for a cookbook. And they're like, oh, okay, well, we can do a Zoom. And once I talked to them on Zoom for an hour, they were like, let's do this. And then it was like one of the top 10 nonfiction books for a New Zealander last year. So that was pretty cool.
So cool. So amazing.
And then, now we're on to the second book. So in the membership, I just put a lot of effort into the membership, because I've got almost 1,200 members at the moment in the membership, and they get a monthly ebook. I've just changed it around a little bit. So they get 7 recipes a month, because they were getting a bit overwhelmed with 10. And so was I. I was on the content train.
Yeah.
And there's so much content in there now that we're like 2.5 years in, that it's a lot. I feel a lot more confident selling. I used to feel quite icky selling it. You hate selling to your audience, but they get so much free content from me as well, that I feel really confident selling the membership, because it's only $12.50 a month. And people get so much content from it. And most of them are there for the community, like the Facebook group and stuff like that.
Yeah. And that's an interesting thing that you brought up, that feeling weird about selling, because I think everyone goes through that when they start a business, don't they? Because not something that comes naturally. Like, it's not like you've had sales training at like a real estate agent or a car salesman or something. It's something you're sort of thrown into, and it feels a bit strange. When would you say the shift happened for you, that you started to feel confident in selling?
I think probably a couple of years ago, when I'd done a couple of launches and there was more content to sell in the membership. And not everyone sees all your content. So you feel like you're talking about it over and over again, but not everyone sees it. I try and the membership's evergreen now, but I do like a big launch once a quarter, because it's just so much energy launching, as you know. I just did, my last launch was a cook along challenge. So we had over 1,000 people in the cook along challenge Facebook group, which is cool. And that was the first time I've done a Facebook group for a launch, which I loved the community aspect of it. And it really showed what it's like if you join the community and Cooking with VJ. But yeah, launches is exhausting. So that's why. And then since it's evergreen, I just tease it every now and then, like when I'm designing an ebook, or when I'm testing a recipe, I'll just do a little tease, like, this is for the membership next month. So kind of adding those breadcrumbs so people get curious. Even if they don't sign up, then they might wait for a bonus or something like that.
Yeah. So you're always just naturally working it into your content and what you're speaking about naturally.
Yeah.
so that it doesn't feel like a big shock when you all of a sudden, hey, buy my thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I found that one little trick I do with launching is I record the stories about the sales or about the different parts of the membership all in one day before the launch. You really run out of energy during the launch. So I find if I hit all those points and then upload them on different days into stories, it helps because you run out of energy in a launch.
That is such a good tip. Like
Yeah.
I've heard the tip to record your final stories and spills and things for the last day, because by the last day you're like,
Yeah.
can't even talk anymore.
Yeah.
But I love that you pre-record all of them. Like I think
I
that's
just do my
really
hair and
smart.
makeup and then change my top or whatever. So
Yeah.
and I'll even say, "Hey guys, happy Wednesday" when I'm recording this
Oh
on
my gosh.
Monday or something like that, and then I put them in folders on my phone ready to upload. Because the last launch, I'd forgotten that I'd recorded something for the Saturday afternoon and it closed that night. And I was like, oh, I better get on and do a story. And then I'd found I'd already done it. I was like, yes.
Oh, what a gift.
Yeah. Because you
Just
do run out of
high-fiving your
energy.
past self.
Yeah. And it also meant that on my stories, I hit all those points that I wanted to talk about in the membership. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't repetitive and I didn't miss anything. So that's my
Yeah.
new little trick I do. And when I don't do it, it stresses me out.
Yeah, and because do you find when you launch, like in the middle of a live launch, that you kind of forget, like you forget what you're supposed to say, like you kind of get mental blocks? I don't know, it happens to me, and I'm like, I know what I'm selling is amazing, and I know that it's quite in depth, but but when it comes to talking about it to sell it on those last few days, it's like, oh, what did I say?
You're talking about it so much. You don't know what they've heard and what they haven't as well. So not that
Yeah.
everyone sees your stories, but quite often I'll do the stories and I'll do a couple of reels while I'm feeling jazzy and excited about it, and then
Yeah.
I upload those during the week.
Yeah, I think that's really, really smart, because it's also the mindset during a launch can be wobbly,
Yeah.
can't it? Like you can be second, I don't know what happens. It's like as soon as you open that cart, that it's just flicks a different switch, and you're
Yeah.
like asking, all the self-doubt comes in, and you're like, oh, is anyone going to buy? And you're starting to question your whole existence.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
but to have that prep work done and to show up in a state of when you are feeling confident, so that that's what the audience is, perceiving and receiving, I think that's gold. So
Yeah,
thank you for sharing that.
that's my big tip for launching.
Yeah, I
Um,
love that.
the last one launch I was the cook along challenge. So I was cooking each day, but I recorded the intro and the outro of each recipe beforehand. So I was like, this tasty, whatever it was, chicken. I think it was like, oh no, it was like burritos or something. These are so good. And then I cooked a few days later.
I love it. It's so
Yeah.
good. It's all about the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
Okay, so a bit of a personal question for you, Vanya, because you're like, you come across as such a, like, just a chilled, cruisy, down to earth girl, like just, not assuming, not, very humble. And I'd love to know how you remain so grounded when you have such a busy growing business and a team to look after, and a family to serve and that sort of thing.
I think, well, I definitely have problems with boundaries around work and how much I work, which I'm trying to work on. It's pretty much the thing that I come up with every time I go somewhere. Like, what do I need to work on? Work-life boundaries, because I work too much, but because I love working so much.
Yeah.
But I guess I stay humble because it's just social media. Like, you could lose that anytime, and it's just another person following. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool having a big audience. Like every now and then someone will recognize me, and I'm just super stotoked that they recognize me, and I ask them questions about what kind of content they like to see and stuff like that.
Oh.
Um, but yeah, and it's nice when someone meets you and they respect how hard you work, because I don't
Yeah.
know, some people think that it's luck, but luck's got nothing to do with it building an audience. It's just a lot of content. Pretty much.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sounds like you have been really dedicated in growing your audience. Like I think for a lot of small business owners, they know that they need an audience. Otherwise, you've got no one to sell to. Like, it's pretty basic. But the commitment that you have to showing up, you know, especially when you started on Facebook, and I know that you came into the Branding Hub and you shared an incredible masterclass session on growing an audience on Facebook. Like, even for me, that was mind blowing, because I didn't even realize how much, you know, how many different techniques there were, and how frequently you need to be sharing like really high quality content in order to grow at the rate that you have. And, you know, like, I think that's just like, I bow down to you, because I think that dedication that you have, that fire in your belly, is so inspiring. And so and I love that what you said about just, I think what you said, knowing that it's based on social media, that really, to me, that translates to, you hold on to that success loosely. Like, it's not something that you tie your identity to or anything. It's amazing. So how many people have you got on your team now, and what are they doing for you?
So, well, I realized my zone of genius is creating content, and it's just with my iPhone, it's not perfect. I've tried to like learn how to take proper photos with the big camera, and I'm just not that interested. I love creating the food, and I love the way it looks at the end. And then I'm like, oh, now I've got to take photos of it. So I just style it up a little bit and use like portrait mode on my phone. But so I was talking about team, sorry.
That's okay.
So I've had to outsource other things, like, so I've got my website manager, Teresa, and she writes, so I'll give her the photos, and she'll, there's a template to writing recipe posts. So we've got a template, she inputs everything, puts all the text in, all the frequently asked questions. Then I just look over it and approve it and publish it. So we published like 110 recipes last year. So there's a lot of recipes going out. So I don't have time to write them all. So she's just trained one of our other staff to start doing this too, because there's too many recipes, since we have to create so much content for the website. There's over 400 recipes on there now. So she's my website manager, and then I've got a Facebook manager who schedules 5 posts a day to go on Facebook. And we also recycle a lot of our content. So she'll schedule, say it's a banana loaf, she'll put it for like 10 o'clock on Tuesday and January, and then in the evening on February, and then, because you can schedule like, I think it's like 80 or 100 days ahead in Facebook. Just copy and paste and schedule the same thing. So she's scheduled the next 3 months ahead of time, which I used to do all this myself. So she's Facebook manager. Then I've got a membership success manager. So she looks after the membership, does all my emails in the membership, all of the commenting and posting in the Facebook group, which I still jump in there as well. And then my sister Grace is actually a way better baker than I am. And so she creates baking recipes for me every now and then if she's got time.
Awesome.
And then we've got my Erin, my membership manager, also does my email marketing as well. So we send out a email every second Friday with the latest recipes from the website, and then all the launch emails and stuff like that. So it's very busy. And then we have big team planning meetings, which is quite fun. We plan out the recipes for the membership for the year or for a few months ahead, and like where we want to go with our launches. Or last year we did a freezer cooking course to show how to make, like, to take like $180 worth of groceries and turn it into, I think it was like 64 portions. So it depends how big your family is. So it'd be like 20 meals or 10, like depends how big your family is, how many portions you get. So we did a little course, because I'd never launched a course and I just wanted to do that.
Why not? Just add it to the mix.
You finish something and you start something else. So there's 3 main people on the team as well as me, and then my sister dips in and out, and we need her to do some extra recipes, and she photographs all her own stuff too.
Incredible.
Yeah.
You all must just be busy little bees, because I suspect for what you produce, that's a small team.
So they're all part-time mums, so they probably add up to 1 full-time employee, but they're all great at their little parts that they do, which is nice to employ and support women and their families as well. And I pay them quite well, because they work amazing for me. They're very honest. do a great job. So I'd rather pay well and get a great job and loyalty.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that mentality of not paying via the hour, like
Yeah.
you must work from this hour to this hour,
Yeah.
otherwise I'll dock your pay type thing. Like,
Yeah.
I love that we're now in this new world where we're starting to see glimpses of it, where people are, can be paid for their value and getting the job done well. And it doesn't matter how long it takes. Like, you could do a great job in 20 minutes and what it could take somebody else 3 hours to do a rubbish job.
Yeah.
So I love that.
They're all contractors, so if they work 10 hours a week, they can, or 15, or whatever. There's always work to be done. So I'm just happy when they do it, and I don't have to do it myself.
Yeah, I love that, like gratitude. So what's next, Vanya?
So the next push will be the cookbook, which the last cookbook was everyday favorites, and then this one's going to have like a summer kind of feel to it. So last cookbook was dinners and baking, and then this one's got like barbecue and lots of big salad section, which has got big platter salads, which I love making. And then we've got baking and desserts in this one. So some beautiful Christmas desserts, which is exciting.
I love
and this
it.
one we did a lifestyle shoot around my hometown, which was cool. So it's got more of a like summery feel. Like we went out on the boat and there's photos of the boys jumping off the rocks and stuff.
Yeah.
So I've got 2 sons, Archie's 9 and Henry is 6. So it was nice to have photos of them in the book too, because the last one was done in studio. So this one's a bit more lifestyle-y, which I'm really excited about. And then also build the membership, and then we're also going on a family trip to Europe for 8 weeks in June. So I want to do some cooking schools over there to learn how to cook French and Italian, and I think it'll be really cool as well on Instagram. People will be like, oh my god, BJ's making pasta in Italy. So
that is so cool. I'm so excited to watch your stories when you go on that holiday. I know that you are sort of in that mode of getting prepped for that, because it's because the amount of things that you have to do in 2 months to be able to have 2 months off is a lot. So I'm grateful for you for sharing your time with me today on the podcast.
Oh, that's no worries.
I just have one more big question. It's a little deep. It's a little strategy based, I guess. So we are currently in kind of a bit of an unstable economic climate, shall we say, and I'm certainly not one to focus on the negative, but from what I've seen with my students and members, it is impacting consumer behaviour, and it's, we've been through a pretty crazy ride through COVID and now this, and it's only going to keep coming because that's just the way of the world. But I was wondering if you had any tips to give a business owner who does sell digital products in this kind of climate.
Yeah, I think pretty much your digital product needs to solve a problem for someone. And if it's going to be convenience or make things faster or brighten up their day, then they're going to pay for it pretty much. Most of the people when we get people cancel from the membership, it's usually for financial reasons. They're trying to cut their subscriptions. That's the main reason why people leave. We do an exit survey and they always love it, but they're leaving because of that. But I guess just knowing your audience. I've been told that I should raise my price quite a few times for quite a few years, and I've stuck to $12.50 because I know my audience quite well. They're not huge income earners. They're trying to save money. That's why a lot of the recipes we share are budget friendly. So I guess for digital product owners, it would just be solving problems for people and helping them out and talking about it, and keep talking about it, because not everyone sees your posts. So just keep talking about it and you'll find your ideal client. If you've sold it to one person, you can sell it to many people. It's just finding them pretty much.
Yeah, that's it. And so to sort of translate that, I guess, is don't get discouraged when people do start saying no. Like, don't let that stop you from still showing up. Because you're right. The right people are out there and they are buying. But sometimes it just takes a little time, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, thank you, Vanya. I just have some fun rapid fire questions now.
Okay.
I didn't send them to you because they're fun. So Vanya asked me to send through a little list of questions so that she could be prepared for the podcast, but I left these ones out on purpose. So it's a rapid fire situation here. So I'm just going to say what's your favorite and then a word, and then just whatever first comes to mind. It's not scary. Yeah, we can edit. What's your favorite app?
Favorite app is Splice, which I use to edit my videos. But then
Oh,
TikTok after that.
oh
'Cause
really?
yeah, now that I'm on TikTok for my brand, for my personal, I actually prefer it as a consumer to Instagram. I wouldn't be on Instagram if I wasn't there for work. I don't think I'd be on
Ooh,
TikTok.
controversial.
Yeah,
Okay, favorite time of day?
night. I am a night owl. I'm always up so late. I have to make myself go to bed.
Oh, what time do you normally go to bed?
Oh, probably 11:30 each night.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm tired just thinking
I
about
love
that.
staying up late. My ideal sleep would be 12 till 8 every night if I could choose.
Oh,
Yeah,
wouldn't it be nice to roll out of bed at 8 o'clock in the morning
yeah.
every day? Anyway,
I get so much done at night because I wanna go to bed.
yeah,
So they're
interesting.
very productive.
It's a good incentive.
Yeah.
Okay, favorite exercise?
I've been doing strength training lately, but probably just going for a walk and listening to a podcast with my
Mm,
dog through the bush. There's some beautiful tracks around here, so probably just
nice.
walking.
Yeah, very grounding.
Yeah.
Okay, favorite habit or ritual?
Oh, eating. I love eating. I don't know if that's a habit or ritual, but
So on brand.
I always seem to be eating, so it's probably
Oh,
a bad habit, but I love food so much.
I think it's probably a good thing because
Yeah,
if you didn't eat, you'd die. So
yeah,
it's pretty good.
yeah, not very zen.
Okay. Favorite way to relax?
Well, that's what I have trouble with, relaxing, but probably like watching a TV show or something, or going out. We've got a boat, so we go out on the boat on the lake and just like swim and have a picnic and stuff. So that's probably my
Mm,
ultimate favorite way to relax.
sounds really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, your favorite thing about your business.
I love that it gives me the life that I want to live and a
Mm,
freedom-filled life.
mm,
I'm taking my family to Europe. Thanks to
yeah.
VJ Cooks for that. Like, and also my husband's left building. He's helping me out with the kids. So to be able to bring him away from something that he's sick of doing is pretty
Yeah.
special as well. And always have someone to be with the kids because I'm working so much. There's always someone who can be around them, whether it's me or Mike, which is awesome.
Yeah, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Vanya. I really loved chatting with you and I really
Thanks for
appreciate
having
your
me.
time and sharing those little tidbits of wisdom. Where can we find you?
So you can find me on Instagram at VJ_cooks. My website's vjcooks.com, and then just Google VJ Cooks and I'll come up everywhere. You won't be able to
You
get rid of it.
absolutely will. I have made some of her recipes and the kids are always like, tell Vanya that was really delicious. Go and
So
try it
good.
out. Thanks, Vanya.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for listening. If you loved this week's episode of Brand Lover, take a screenshot of wherever you're listening and share your biggest takeaway on Instagram or Facebook, and don't forget to tag me. I'd love to give you a shout out and thank you personally. Also, feel free to subscribe and leave a review to help the Brand Lover podcast reach more heart-aligned entrepreneurs just like yourself. Thanks again, and I'll see you next week.